everyone, and welcome to the first annual commencement celebration for Asian, Pacific Islander, and Desi American graduates here at Emory University. My name is Melissa Pa'a Redwood, and I am an Assistant Director in the Office for Racial and Cultural Engagement. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to be able to welcome you here today on behalf of all of the offices in Belonging and Community Justice, as well as the rest of campus life. And I want to thank you for joining us for what I'm very excited to say is the first of many graduation ceremonies for the APIDA community yet to come. To be honest, when some of you approached me about holding this space, I was at first very hesitant. Not only would this be the first ceremony of its kind with no blueprint to work with, it would also have to be virtual. And I struggled to imagine a way that we could make it meaningful enough for graduates, despite not being able to gather in person. After a year and a half of Zoom lectures and seminars, I felt certain that another virtual event would be unwanted or even unwelcome. I'm so delighted and so grateful to those of you who have proven me wrong. Despite my initial uncertainty, the message from all of you was clear that this is something we want, if not something we need. And I think that that is such a fantastic encapsulation of the presence that you all have held on campus over the course of your time here. APIDA students at Emory have been remarkably active in advocating for their needs on campus. You all are the reason that we'll be able to open our Asian Student Center in the fall, and you are the reason that my entire job even exists. At every turn and at every time when the university has tried to ask you, do you really need this? The answer has always been a resounding yes. So I'm so grateful to you all for asserting your needs on campus with such clarity and such conviction over the course of these several years. I'm sure that you all are very familiar with the many stereotypes that surround our communities, that Asian Americans are silent about race and shy away from activism. Typecast as the model minority and as overrepresented in higher education, Asian Americans are often pushed to the side or told that our issues don't matter. I want to express my gratitude for all of the times that you as a community have come together and spoken with honesty and authenticity about what you need, what you want, and what, quite frankly, you deserve. Today, you deserve not only to be recognized, but also to be celebrated. You have accomplished an incredible thing this year, not least of all because of the enormous challenges that you have had to overcome. No matter what stage of the academic journey you're on, the completion of a higher degree is no small achievement. College is hard. Grad school is hard. Even under the best conditions, it is an enormous accomplishment, and you've done it. You've done it under conditions that no other graduating classes had to face. I hardly need to tell you all of the ways in which this year has been difficult. You all know it perfectly well yourselves, and I'm sure that you are tired of hearing about it. But I think it is especially important to recognize the ways in which the events of the last year have had a disproportionate impact on our APIDA communities, especially here at Emory and especially here in Atlanta. In addition to a year and a half of pandemic, isolation, and mass grief, Asian Americans have also become targets and victims in a rising number of violent hate crimes, leaving many of us feeling especially vulnerable and fearful for ourselves, for our elders, for our cousins, and our sisters. All of this you have had to bear the burden of speaking out against, while also relearning how to be students in a new format apart from your friends and roommates, and all of the small interactions that make being on campus a full experience. It's not fair. And I'm sure you're so tired of hearing how much you've had to overcome when if it were up to you, this year could probably have gone in just about any other way. But you have overcome it all the same, and you've accomplished something tremendous in the process. You deserve to be very proud. Even though we're living in these times when it's difficult to feel the passage of time, I hope you will take a moment to recognize how far you have come during the time that you've shared with us, and to celebrate this rite of passage before embarking on the next stage of your journey. I want to thank you for choosing to commemorate this incredible achievement with us, for helping us to make some meaning out of the madness, and to build new traditions where none existed before. Emory will continue to carry your mark as we continue this ceremony in the many years to come. We hope you feel proud of the footprint that you have left here. I know that we in BCJ certainly are, and we are so excited to see what is next for you all. With that, it is my immense pleasure to hand the proceedings over to our own Dr. Chris Suh, Assistant Professor of History, who will be introducing our student speaker. Thank you, Dr. Suh.
Thank you, Melissa. It is my great pleasure to introduce our student speaker, Julia Zong. Julia is a senior in the college, graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and Behavioral Biology and minor in Sociology. In 2018, she co-founded Emory's Asian Pacific Islander Desi American Activists with some of her now closest friends, and she's proud to have not only produced programs on APIDA political identity and education, but to have also advocated for more APIDA resources in the Emory community, including an affinity space, programming in the Office for Race, and Asian American Studies. In addition to APIDA, Julie is involved on campus as a resident advisor, music director for Ad Hoc Productions, and neuroimaging lab research assistant at the Marcus Autism Center. After graduation, Julia will be working as a research assistant before applying for clinical psychology graduate programs, where she intends to study Asian American mental health and culturally informed therapy practices and interventions for the APIDA community. Please welcome my dear friend, Julia Zong.
Hello, and congratulations to all of my fellow Asian Pacific Islander Desi/American graduates. I am so honored to be able to speak at this graduation, and thank you to Belonging and Community Justice and to Melissa for giving me the opportunity and space to do so. It's still unbelievable to me that we're actually graduating and will be going in our separate ways and paths in life. I don't think any of us could have imagined a year and a half of online school. Not only have many of our families been impacted by COVID, but we as students have lost so many things that were supposed to make our college experience, especially senior year, impactful. From losing our independence, from not being able to live on campus, spontaneous hangouts and run-ins with friends, or an actual fun and engaging in-person learning environment, we've barely had time to grieve these losses while also engaging with a changing social environment, a very stressful presidential election, and violence against our own community. During a time of a pandemic and of racial violence, in which members of our community not only live in fear of their health, but also of being targets of hate crimes, I'm grateful that we could gather here today, even if it is virtual, to take a breath and moment to celebrate ourselves, our accomplishments, and our cultural identities. We've accomplished so much individually and as a community in the past 4 years. Although we won't be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor, Emory now not only celebrates APIDA graduates, but also has an assistant director in the Office for Race, will have an APIDA affinity space in the AMUC and then in Cox Hall, and hopefully more and more Asian American Studies professors. Just look at how far we've come in the past 4 years. I was lost in my freshman year. As someone with social anxiety, I heavily struggled with transitioning to the social scene of a university. None of the close friends I made were Asian American, and while I still love and cherish that friend group, sometimes I just wanted to be with people who I didn't need to explain my cultural differences to. I desperately wished Emory had something, a physical space, a class, a student organization that I could go to meet others who had similar life experiences as me. Luckily, I was able to find this community through co-creating the student organization, Asian Pacific Islander Desi American Activists, APIDA for short, and create a space in which APIDA identifying students could engage with their racial identity by learning more about their histories, the social issues they face, and participating in discussions on how being APIDA impacts various aspects of their lives. With APIDA, not only have I learned from my incredible peers and friends, but I also found the strength and power in our collective voice. It is so important for us to be here today and to celebrate ourselves and our community. Although the APIDA diaspora encompasses many diverse cultures, and we've all engaged with our own ethnic identities in various ways at Emory, we're here together today as one collective Asian Pacific Islander Desi/American community. As Asian Americans, we are socialized to stay quiet and to not speak up, both by our culture, but also for survival in this country. We are told that the issues and racism we face are minuscule, to keep our head down and simply do the most just to achieve financial success. For me, this socialization has made me doubt myself and the value in my thoughts and my opinions. I've lacked confidence in my own voice and often believe that I don't contribute to discussions or that others can say what I want to better than I could. But I'm here to say that your voice does matter and that we have strength and power in numbers and as a community. With this inaugural graduation, we are asserting our presence and visibility to Emory. We're showing that as individuals and as a community that has faced unique histories and experiences in the United States, that we matter at this institution and that we deserve to be recognized. No matter where you go after Emory, I hope you're able to find a community like the one we're in today. And that if you can't find one in which you feel like you belong, you're able to use your voice to create the community that you need. And I hope you know that you will always have a place within the APIDA community at Emory and that you can always come back to the people here today.
Thank you so much, Julia, for this heartfelt message about the importance of community and how engaging with other APIDA students has shaped your experience here at Emory. Even though we can't be together in person, I'm sure that the sentiments that you've expressed will resonate greatly with many people who are here in attendance today, and I want to thank you so much for sharing them with us. Up next, we have a message of congratulations from Emory Campus Life, introduced by Dean Enku Gelaye, Vice President and Dean of Campus Life here at Emory.
Campus Life Dean Enku Gelaye congratulates APIDA graduates, Emory class of 2021.
Congratulations, 2021 APIDA graduates. You've made it. We're so proud of you. You've accomplished so much, especially this year under very trying circumstances. We can't wait to see what else you accomplish in the years ahead. Wishing you the very best. Please, please, please stay in touch and always be safe and well. I think the Campus Life executive team have greetings for you too.
Congratulations, Emory APIDA students, class of 2021. Thank you for your many contributions to Emory.
Continue to take care of your health and wellness even after you leave our campus.
Work hard, play hard, and get sleep.
Learn how to negotiate that salary.
Be kind to yourself and other people.
Congratulations, Emory APIDA 2021 graduates.
Make voting a lifelong habit.
Thank you for your contributions to Emory.
Be sure to come back and visit us as alums.
Produced by Campus Life, the Student Affairs Division of Emory University.
Thank you, Dean Gelaye, and the whole of the Campus Life executive leadership team for these joyous words of celebration and congratulations. We are now honored and excited to introduce our keynote speaker, Stephen Chen, who will once again be introduced by Dr. Suh.
Thank you, Melissa. It is my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Stephen Chen. Stephen Chen is a senior manager and has been an attorney in the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights for nearly 20 years. He currently works in the Denver field office and has previously worked in the San Francisco, New York, and Washington, D.C. field offices. He led the U.S. Commission on Equity and Excellence under the Obama administration and is serving as a region lead for the White House Initiative on Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders for the Rocky Mountain region. Stephen is a proud graduate of Emory College, class of 1995, and Emory Law School, class of 2000, and also has a master's degree in education from Harvard University. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Stephen Chan.
Thank you for the kind words of introduction and for inviting me to serve as your keynote speaker for Emory's inaugural Asian American graduation ceremony. I'm honored and humbled to be with you and really proud to welcome you home to our community of Emory alumni. I wish I could be with you all in person to congratulate you individually with hugs and handshakes, but I'm thrilled nonetheless to be able to share in this moment with you. So, as you're about to cross that stage and conclude this chapter of your lives, I have to ask, why are we here? Some of you may be pondering this as you look ahead at your future and try to figure out what it is that you want to do with the rest of your life. At least for those of you who aren't already bound for med school, law school, business school, grad school, for the most stereotypically Asian amongst you, all four of those. Why are we here? I don't actually mean to engage you in the ponderings of this foundational existential question. I actually mean it in a much more present and tangible way. As we gather here in this virtual space to participate in this graduation experience, why have we come together for an Asian American graduation ceremony? Certainly, commencement is a big enough tent to include everyone. You've all earned your spot there, and you should be congratulated and commended for making it to this conferral of your academic degree, especially given the crazy year of COVID that we've all experienced. So why do we come together for an Asian American graduation ceremony? Well, the reasons are many, but I want to highlight four that I think are important and that I hope will resonate with you. The first reason is for affirmation. There is a proud narrative of Asian Americans embodying and actualizing the American dream. We should celebrate that legacy and embrace it as a way to show that we're just as American as apple pie, baseball, and General Tso's chicken. But like the Chinese laborers who built the Transcontinental Railroad that made westward expansion a possibility, and then were swept away when the Golden Spike was driven in to complete that railroad, our history and contributions have been pushed out of many mainstream history books. We come together to remember those stories because it affirms our place in this nation and in our communities. If no one else recognizes our worth, you better believe that your parents, your aunties and uncles, and your ancestors are proud of your achievements, especially your academic ones. We come together in this space to affirm all that you've accomplished and to affirm your place in this world. The second reason, support and safety. While I hate to talk about such an ugly and present hurt during this happiest of occasions, it would be disingenuous if I didn't acknowledge the rise in anti-Asian hate across this nation. The increase in hate incidents has been staggering and troubling. I've worked investigating cases of discrimination for over 20 years. Even with this rise in incidents, from what I've seen, incidents involving Asian Americans are vastly underreported. I stress the underreporting because discrimination is happening and has been happening here. And that's another reason why it's important to come together, to offer safety and support to one another when it's needed, to create a safe space to cry, to heal, to find the courage to get out of bed and to get out of the door to face another day. We have to be here for each other. It's the nature of community, and it's why we assemble. The third reason information. In the digital age, information is easier to come by than it was when I was in college. But these spaces continue to be a conduit of knowledge that isn't always the easiest to find. Let me share an example. America is known for having birthright citizenship, that if you're born here, you're a citizen. Rather than link citizenship to heritage or your blood, this principle is rooted in a fundamental notion of equity. That if you're born here, you belong. But did you know that we wouldn't have birthright citizenship as we know it today if it weren't for a famous Asian American, Wong Kim Ark? There were those who wanted to exclude Wong Kim Ark from re-entering the United States, despite being born in California. It was his legal challenge to this exclusion that led the Supreme Court to cement the principle of birthright citizenship in this nation. It is this space that seeks to share this kind of knowledge and information. It's why it's so important to have an Asian American history class, or an Asian American literature, or Asian American film classes to explore and to inform ourselves and others about the valuable contributions of Asian Americans to this nation. Lastly, action. We gather because it creates connections, and from those connections, we find common purpose. From common purpose emerges coalition and collective action. We come together because collective action is more effective and more efficient. It reaches a broader audience than what you can achieve by yourself. The whole is indeed greater than the sum of its parts. So come together. Find something that moves you and makes a difference in your world. Improve the outcome so that tomorrow is a better day, and do it together. In many ways, these are the same reasons that you may have been involved with Asian and Asian American student organizations and movements on campus. These are the reasons why I was involved with the Asian American community when I was at Emory and wanted to start various Asian American organizations. These could be the same reasons why you've taken an Asian American history class, or hopefully they're the reasons that will motivate you to get involved with an Asian American alumni affinity group after you graduate. Whatever your reason is for being part of this experience today, I thank you for coming together in this space to celebrate one another. I hope you will see value in continuing to be a part of the Asian American community as you move into this next chapter of your life. Congratulations to each of you. I very much look forward to running into you in our community.
Our many, many thanks to Stephen for the perspective and the wisdom that you've shared with us today in your keynote address. I know that many of our students will have much to learn from your example as they continue to carve out their roles as advocates for themselves and for other Asian Americans after graduation. Just as you say, it is so important to be active in cultivating this consciousness in community with each other. And we thank you for lending your time and being here to welcome our current class of graduates to the same legacy of community advocacy which you also share. Now, without further ado, we are very delighted to present this year's class of APIDA graduates 2021. Oxford College. Emily Ung. Emory College of Arts and Sciences. Aishwarya Adanki. Ayushi Agarwal. Junaid Ahmed. Miko Biana. Andy Chen. Jasmine Kui. Jessica Dam. Niharika Dighe. Anusha Gadipudi. Surya Garg.
Aditya Javeri, David G, Ibad Khan, Jessica Kwong, Yenthao Lam, Karen Lee, Louise Liu, Michelle Liu, Allison Lowe, Fiza Mahmood,
Parth Modi, Emily Ng, Shreya Paparaju, Sanu Park, Natasha Roque Rosario, Piper Spooner,
Jenny Yu, Jimmy Zhang, Alice Zhang, Julia Zong.
Undergraduate students for Goizueta Business School. Ansuri Agarwal, Ayla Jiang, Hejin Khan, Janvi Pamnani, Ian Wang, Mark Wang. Undergraduate students in the Nell Hodgson School of Nursing.
Andrew An, Unti Cho, Chelsea Ho, Crystal Ho, Bethany Seagraves, Sayoko Sueyoshi, Esther Wen, Elizabeth Wanowski, Mimi Yu.
Graduate students in the Goizueta Business School. Vipul Bhattnagar, Yan Bui, Pulkit Khatri, David Lee, Heather Song, Brenda Tram, Laney Graduate School, Xingwen Loy. Graduate students in the Nell Hodgson Woodruff School of Nursing. Asia Chong. Rollins School of Public Health.
Unji Lisa Chung, Amanda Davidson, Bayan Asawi, Purva Kumajusula, Vienna Madrid, Diane McLaughlin, Ryan Mathura, Amanda Mohammed,
Sobha Munir, Sarah Patel, Yu Tong Yao, Patrick Zhang. School of Medicine. Ben Kang. Thank you so much, Dr. Suh, for your assistance presenting the graduates today. And I want to say once more to all of you, congratulations. Please take a moment to pat yourselves on the back. You have more than earned it. Before we wrap up our ceremony and send you on your way, we do have one final message from Munir Mekjani, incoming president of the Emory University Alumni Board.
Congratulations, class of 2021, and welcome to the Emory alumni community. My name is Munir Mekjani, 08 Oxford and 2010 College. I am honored to serve as the first South Asian president-elect for the Emory University Alumni Board. I am so excited for you all to be joining the robust Alumni Association with close to 150,000 alumni worldwide. We're here to uplift, network, or just hang out with you. As a South Asian, I know the importance our families put on education, especially higher education, the sacrifices our parents and the elders of our communities have made for us, for you to be here at this very moment, graduating from one of the top universities in America. I hope today you will hold your head up high, knowing that you have made your parents, your friends, and your community very proud. But also take a moment and pause. Take it all in. This time goes by much quicker than you expect. You are also part of a very special generation. You all are taking on headfirst the unrest that has been brewing and often ignored by our very community. I ask that on your journey you hold close our alma mater, Cor Prudence Pisidium Scientium. The wise heart seeks knowledge, and continue on your path as seekers of wisdom and spreaders of truth and justice. I was thrilled to hear about this very first APIDA graduation ceremony. And while we all can't be here together in person, I hope you and your family are celebrating this phenomenal accomplishment and letting your parents take 1,000,000 pictures of you to show you off to their friends and family across the globe. You know they live for moments like these. I really do hope you will connect with the alumni family on Emory Connects and reach out to fellow alumni in your field from where you have come or where you plan to go. Lastly, I hope you are the envy of every Asian parent when they're telling their kids why they can't be more like you. Congratulations again. Be well and do good.
Thank you so much, Munir, for those warm words of welcome. I can think of no better way to close out our ceremony than with that same sentiment of be well and do good. And know that you will always have a robust community of fellow APIDA graduates to lean on in times of joy, in times of struggle, and in times of celebration. Just as you, as students, have been so interested in forging connections with the alumni who came before you, I know that future generations of APIDA students at Emory will be so eager to learn about the time that you've spent here and all of the exciting things that I know are yet to come. So on their behalf, I want to thank you for creating the space for them to share in going forward. A space to feel a part of something bigger, to feel seen, and to feel understood. I can't wait for you to come back and share with them how you were here when it all started, or put a better way, how you made this all happen. I want to take a moment again to thank all of our speakers today for generously sharing their time and their thoughts with us. And I want to thank you, the graduating class of 2021, for allowing us to share in your joy and celebration during this momentous occasion. Congratulations, stay in touch, and take good care.